Sir, you can't. Move. Amara didn't wait for permission. The guard's hand caught her elbow, but she wrenched free with a force that surprised them both. Her heels struck the marble floor like hammer blows, echoing through the glass corridor. Behind her, two small voices whimpered. Mama, where are we going?
She didn't answer Jia. Couldn't.
Not when her heart was trying to claw its way out of her chest. The executive floor stretched ahead, chrome, glass, and cold LED lights. Men in black suits materialized from side offices, hands moving toward concealed weapons. Amara kept walking. 5 years ago, she would have crumbled under their stares. 5 years ago, she was someone else entirely. Mama, I'm scared. Ji-hoon's fingers dug into the yellow fabric of her dress. I know, baby. She squeezed his hand without slowing. Just stay close. The double doors loomed ahead, black walnut, no nameplate necessary. Everyone knew whose office claimed the top floor. Through the frosted glass, she could see his silhouette behind the desk, phone pressed to his ear. Her hand hit the door. It swung open. Eliminate the problem, the man said, his voice ice over steel. I don't care how you. His eyes lifted.
Gray. Cold.
Exactly as she remembered. Kang Jin-woo didn't move, but something shifted in his face. Recognition maybe, or calculation. Rain streaked down the floor-to-ceiling windows behind him, turning Seoul's skyline into a watercolor of neon and shadow. Thunder rumbled, low and threatening. Amara stepped inside. 6 guards filed in behind her, uncertain. Jin-woo raised one finger. They stopped. Do you remember me? Her voice came out steadier than she felt. He set down his phone with the precision of a man who controlled every micromovement. His suit was charcoal, perfectly tailored, and when he leaned back in his chair, it was with the casual authority of someone who'd never been challenged in his own territory. That depends. His lips curved, but his eyes stayed dead. Should I? Lightning cracked outside, painting his face in stark white. Before you find out what he does next, subscribe to Mystic Tale by Luna and comment where you're watching from. Amara's hand trembled as she pulled the manila folder from her bag. She slammed it onto his desk hard enough to make his coffee cup rattle. Photographs spilled out, hospital bracelets, 2 birth certificates, laboratory results with his name highlighted in toxic yellow. These are your children. Each word felt like swallowing glass. Ji-hoon and Jia. 5 years old. Your DNA is already on file with 3 hospitals in Lagos. I had them run the tests before I came. Jin-woo didn't touch the folder.
Didn't even look at it.
His gaze moved past her to the twins, Ji-hoon with his father's sharp jawline, Jia with her mother's warm brown eyes. Both of them clutching their mother's dress like it was the only solid thing in a tilting world. And what do you want? He spoke to Amara, but his eyes stayed on the children. Money. The word hit her like a slap. Money. She laughed, bitter and sharp. I want nothing from you. I came because they deserve to know their father exists. Because Ji-hoon asks about you every night before bed. Because Jia drew a picture of our family and left a blank space where you should be. Touching. Jin-woo finally reached for the folder, flipping through documents with detached efficiency. But you could have sent an email. I sent 12. Your people blocked them all. Did they? He smiled, cold. Good staff. You're a bastard. Accurate. He closed the folder. But that doesn't make them mine. Half of Lagos probably has forged documents with my name on them. Amara felt Jia press against her leg, silent and terrified. That, more than anything, steadied her rage. Then test them yourself, she said.
Right now.
I'll wait. Jin-woo studied her for a long moment. Then he pressed a button on his desk. Minasio. The door opened. A woman entered, late 20s, scar bisecting her left eyebrow, walking with a barely perceptible limp. She moved like violence contained in skin. Sajangnam? Get Dr. Choi up here. Full DNA panel. Expedited. Minasio's gaze flicked to Amara, then the twins, then back to Jin-woo. Sir, if I may. You may not. She bowed and left. Amara's knees wanted to give out, but she locked them. How long?
An hour.
Maybe less. Jin-woo stood, buttoning his suit jacket. You'll wait in the conference room. My men will escort you. We're not prisoners.
No.
He walked around the desk, stopping close enough that she could smell his cologne, cedar and gunpowder. Your guests. There's a difference. Is there? Guests can leave. His voice dropped. But if you're lying to me about those children, you won't make it to the elevator. Jia whimpered. Amara pulled her daughter closer. I'm not lying. Then you have nothing to worry about. The conference room was all glass and leather, expensive, sterile, designed to intimidate. Amara sat with Ji-hoon on one side and Jia on the other, their small bodies pressed against hers. Guards stood by the door. Minacio leaned against the wall, arms crossed, watching them like they might explode. Mama, Ji-hoon whispered in Igbo. Is that man really our father? Yes, baby. He doesn't seem happy to see us. Amara closed her eyes. Some people don't know how to be happy. Dr. Choi arrived within 20 minutes. Thin man, wire-rimmed glasses, hands that moved with surgical precision. He swabbed the twins' cheeks with gentle efficiency, speaking softly to them in Korean. Jia giggled when he let her hold the cotton swab. Ji-hoon watched everything with his father's intensity. Results in 40 minutes, Dr. Choi said as he left. The wait was suffocating. Minacio moved to the window, staring out at the rain. You're Nigerian? Amara looked up. Yes. Long way from home. Korea was home once. The words came out before she could stop them. Briefly. 6 years ago? Minacio's tone was neutral, but her eyes weren't. There are rumors about Sejangnam disappearing for 3 days. Coming back different. I don't know about that. No. Minacio turned. But you know him well enough to have his children. Heat climbed Amara's neck. It was one night. One stupid, reckless night when I thought she stopped. The twins were listening. Thought what? That strangers could save each other. Amara met her gaze. I was wrong. Minacio said nothing, but something flickered across her face. Not quite sympathy, but close. The door opened. Jin-woo entered, Dr. Choi behind him holding a tablet.
Well.
Amara stood. Dr. Choi cleared his throat. Paternity confirmed. 99.97% match. They're yours, sir. The room went silent. Even the rain seemed to pause. Jin-woo took the tablet, read it, then handed it back. His face revealed nothing, no shock, no joy, no anger. Just that same cold calculation. Thank you, Dr. Choi. That will be all. The doctor left. The guards remained. Is that our dad? Jia asked in her small voice, her English accented with Yoruba rhythms. Jin-woo looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time. She had his mother's eyes, he realized. The same shape, the same depth. The ghost of someone he'd buried 20 years ago. Yes, he said. Jia smiled. Ji-hoon didn't. Amara stood. Now you know. We'll leave.
No.
The word landed like a door slamming. Excuse me? Jin-woo moved to the window, hands in his pockets. You brought my children into my world. You think you can just leave now? They're my children. And mine. He turned, and for the first time, there was something alive in his eyes. Something dangerous. How do I know you're not a spy? How do I know this isn't some elaborate setup by my enemies? That's insane. Is it? He gestured to Minacio. Show her. Minacio pulled out her phone, brought up a photo. Park Dong-hyun, rival faction. 3 of his men were seen outside your hotel this morning. Amara's blood went cold. I don't know who that is. Maybe. Or maybe you're very good at lying. Jin-woo's voice was soft now, which made it worse. Either way, until I know what game you're playing, you stay where I can see you. All 3 of you. You can't keep us here. Can I? He smiled, and it was the cruelest thing she'd ever seen. This is my city. My building. My rules. Amara's phone buzzed in her purse. She grabbed it. The screen showed an unknown number. She didn't answer. Jin-woo nodded to Minacio, who plucked the phone from Amara's hand. Hey, Answer it, Jin-woo said. Speaker. Min-seo complied. A man's voice filled the room, gravelly amused. Kang Jin-woo. I heard you have a weakness now. A pretty one with children. Jin-woo's jaw tightened. I'll be in touch, the voice said. About how much they're worth to you. The line went dead. This is your room. Amara stood in the doorway, staring at luxury that felt like mockery. King-sized bed with silk sheets. Marble bathroom visible through an open door. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a garden she couldn't access. The twins had already been taken to an adjoining room. Connected, Min-seo assured her, as if that made imprisonment acceptable. Where are my children? Next door. Sleeping. Min-seo gestured inside. Fresh clothes in the closet. Toiletries in the bathroom. If you need anything. I need to leave. That's not available. Min-seo's expression didn't change. Breakfast is at 7. Sejangnam expects you there. She left before Amara could respond. The door didn't lock from the inside. Amara checked. Of course it didn't. She pressed her forehead against it, breathing hard. The call from Park Dong-hyun played in her mind on repeat. A threat. A promise. Proof that bringing her children here was the worst mistake of her life. She didn't sleep. When dawn crept through the windows, painting everything gold and false, she checked on the twins. They slept tangled together like puppies, Jia's arm thrown over Ji-hoon's chest.
Safe. For now.
The dining room was excess incarnated, chandelier dripping crystal, table long enough to seat 20. Jin-woo sat at the head, reading something on his tablet. Black coffee steamed beside him. He didn't look up when she entered. Sit. Amara remained standing. Where are my children? Eating in the kitchen. My chef is teaching them to make hotteok. He gestured to the chair beside him. Sit down, Amara. The use of her name felt like a violation. She sat. A staff member materialized, placing food before her. Rice, soup, banchan arranged with surgical precision. Her stomach twisted. She hadn't eaten since Lagos. Eat, Jin-woo said, still not looking at her. I'm not hungry. Eat anyway. You're no use to your children if you collapse. She picked up chopsticks with shaking hands. The food was perfect. She hated that. Jin-woo set down his tablet. Here are the rules. You don't leave the compound without my men. You don't speak to anyone I haven't vetted. You don't use phones, computers, or any device capable of external communication. The twins will have guards assigned to them at all times. This is insane. This is survival. He finally looked at her. Park Dong-hyun isn't bluffing. If he knows about the children, so do others. Right now, this mansion is the safest place in Seoul. Safe. She laughed, sharp. You mean trapped. Semantics. You're a bastard. You've mentioned that. He drank his coffee. But I'm a bastard who's kept his people alive for 10 years in a world designed to kill them. So you'll follow my rules, or you'll watch your children become casualties of your stubbornness. Heat flooded her face. Don't you dare. The door opened. Taehyun entered, tall, lean, with the kind of face that smiled even when discussing violence. He carried a folder. Sejangnam. The surveillance reports. Jin-woo took them without acknowledgement. Taehyun's gaze flicked to Amara, curious. Taehyun, this is Amara. The mother of my children. Jin-woo spoke like he was introducing furniture. Amara, this is Taehyun. He'll be coordinating your security detail. Ma'am. Taehyun bowed slightly, that smile still in place. If you need anything, let me know. I need to leave. Besides that. Get out, Jin-woo said. Taehyun left. The door closed. Amara set down her chopsticks. I won't be your prisoner. Then be their mother. Jin-woo's voice went cold. And understand that protection looks like prison when you're not used to being hunted. The first challenge came at lunch. Jin-woo held a meeting in the main sitting room. 6 men in suits, discussing territory disputes in language coded enough to maintain deniability. Amara wasn't supposed to be there, but she came anyway, the twins trailing behind her. Mama, can we play outside? Jia asked in Igbo. Not now, baby. Jin-woo glanced up. His men stopped talking. This is a private meeting, he said. This is a house. Amara met his gaze. My children live here now, apparently. They should be able to move freely. Your children are upstairs. With toys, books, and supervision. Supervision? She stepped forward. You mean guards with guns watching 5-year-olds color? One of the men, older, scar across his knuckles, smirked. Sejangnam, should I?
No.
Jin-woo stood. Everyone out. They filed out quickly. Only Taehyun hesitated, looking between them.
Out. He left.
Jin-woo walked to Amara slowly. The twins pressed against her legs. You will not undermine me in front of my men. I'm not one of your men.
No.
You're the mother of my heirs, which means you're more dangerous than any enemy I've ever faced. He crouched, bringing himself eye level with Ji-hoon. Do you want to play outside? Ji-hoon nodded, mute. There's a dog in the garden. Shadow. He's very big. Want to meet him? Jia's eyes widened. A dog? German Shepherd. Former military. Trained to kill. Jin-woo's voice softened in a way that made Amara's chest ache. But he's gentle with children. If you'd protect someone who trapped you, subscribe to Mystic Tale by Luna, and tell me where you're watching from. Can we, mama? Jia tugged at Amara's dress. She wanted to refuse. Wanted to grab her children and run until her lungs gave out. But Jia was smiling. First real smile since they arrived, and Ji-hoon's rigid posture had loosened. Fine, she whispered. Shadow was a beast, black and tan, 100 pounds of muscle and discipline. He sat perfectly still as the twins approached, his eyes tracking their movements. Hold out your hand, Jin-woo instructed Ji-hoon. Let him smell you first. Ji-hoon obeyed. Shadow sniffed, then licked his palm. Ji-hoon laughed. The sound cracked something in Amara's chest. Jin-woo showed them how to pet him properly, firm strokes, confident movements. Shadow tolerated it all with patient dignity. When Jia threw a ball, he brought it back gently, dropping it at her feet. Amara watched from the terrace. Min-seo stood beside her, silent. He's good with them, Min-seo said finally. He's their father. He should be. Most men in this world aren't. Min-seo's tone carried weight. Sejangnam was raised in an orphanage. Government facility. No family, no softness. He built himself from violence. Why are you telling me this? Because you look at him like he's only a monster. Min-seo turned. But monsters don't teach children how to tie their shoes. Amara looked back at the garden. Jin-woo was crouched beside Ji-hoon, whose laces had come undone. His hands moved slowly, demonstrating the bunny ear method. Ji-hoon watched with fierce concentration. Over, under, pull tight, Jin-woo said. Again. Ji-hoon tried.
Failed.
Tried again. Good. Again. Third time, the bow held. Perfect. Jin-woo's hand rested briefly on his son's head. Now show your sister. Something in Amara's throat closed. The public event was a nightmare dressed as charity, gala for Children's Hospital, attended by Seoul's elite and underworld in equal measure. Amara wore a dress Min-seo provided, midnight blue, elegant, expensive. Jin-woo appeared in her doorway, wearing a tuxedo that probably cost more than her entire wardrobe. Ready?
No.
Good answer. He offered his arm. Try not to get us killed. The ballroom glittered with false smiles and real power. Cameras flashed. Jin-woo's hand settled on the small of Amara's back, possessive, claiming. Every eye followed them. Smile, he murmured. Go to hell. Already there. You're just visiting. He introduced her to men with blood on their hands and politicians with blood on their consciences. This is Amara, the mother of my children. Each time, his voice carried pride that felt like ownership. Children? One man, silver-haired, snake-eyed, leaned closer. I didn't know you had heirs, Jin-woo. Now you do. How unexpected. The man's gaze slithered over Amara. Where are they tonight? Safe. Jin-woo's tone dropped 10 degrees. As they'll remain. The threat was clear. The man laughed and moved on. He's one of Park's associates, Jin-woo said quietly. Now he knows attacking the children means war. You're using us. I'm protecting you. There's a difference. Is there? His hand tightened on her waist. You have no idea how many people in this room want me dead. But now they know, touch my family, and I'll burn their world to ash.
Family.
The word hung between them like smoke. Later, she overheard him on his phone in the garden. Voice low, lethal. Double security. If anyone gets within 100 meters of them, kill on sight. I don't care about warnings. I don't care about questions. Just bodies. He hung up, turned, saw her. Eavesdropping?
Protecting, she said.
There's a difference. His laugh was bitter. You're learning. The attack came 3 nights later. Dinner was almost peaceful. Twins eating japchae with small hands. Jin-woo correcting Ji-hoon's chopstick grip. Amara had stopped flinching every time he moved. Then the windows exploded. Glass rained down like diamonds. Gunfire erupted, sharp, rhythmic, professional. Jin-woo moved before Amara could scream, throwing himself over the twins. His body became their shield. Get down. Taehyun appeared from nowhere, weapon drawn. East side for hostiles. Maybe more. More gunfire.
Closer now.
Jin-woo pulled the twins under the table. Stay here. Don't move. His eyes found Amara's. Protect them. Where are you? He was already gone. The dining room became chaos. Men in black tactical gear flooded in. Jin-woo's guards, weapons ready. Taehyun barked orders in Korean too fast for Amara to follow. She wrapped herself around the twins, making her body their world. Mama, what's happening? Jia sobbed. Shh, baby. Close your eyes. Ji-hoon didn't cry. Didn't speak. Just pressed his face into her chest, small body rigid with terror. Gunfire outside. Shouting. The wet sound of bodies hitting the ground. Then silence. Footsteps approached. Amara looked up, heart in her throat. Jin-woo stumbled into view. Blood soaked his left shoulder, running down his arm in ribbons. His face was pale but focused. Clear, he said. They're gone. He took 3 more steps and collapsed. Daddy, Jia screamed. The word hung in the air. First time she'd called him that. First time it felt real. Amara scrambled out from under the table. Someone get a doctor. Taehyun was already there, pressing cloth to the wound. Ambulance is coming. Jin-woo's eyes opened, found the twins. You're okay?
They nodded, crying. Good.
His gaze shifted to Amara.
Told you.
Protection looks like prison. Shut up, she whispered. Just shut up and don't die. Not today. His hand found hers, grip weak but present. Not when I just found them. His eyes closed. Hold still. Jin-woo hissed through his teeth as Amara cleaned the wound. The bullet had gone through, clean exit, Taehyun said, like that made it better. The private doctor had stitched him up and left, muttering about stubborn patients who refused hospitals. Now it was just them.
His bedroom.
3 a.m. This is going to hurt, she said. Everything hurts. She pressed the antiseptic-soaked gauze to his shoulder. He went rigid, jaw clenching hard enough to crack teeth. She worked quickly, efficiently. 5 years of nursing school before the twins came wasn't wasted. You should be resting, he said. So should you. I'm fine. You got shot. Her hands trembled slightly as she applied fresh bandaging. You're not fine. I've had worse. She tied off the gauze with more force than necessary. That doesn't make this better. Jin-woo caught her wrist. His grip was weak, but insistent. Why are you still here? Someone has to make sure you don't bleed out. Minaseo could do that. Minaseo isn't their mother. Amara pulled away, gathering the bloody cloths. The twins saw you collapse. Jia hasn't stopped crying. Ji-hoon won't talk. So I'm here, making sure you survive the night, because God help me, they need you. And you. The question landed like a punch. She didn't answer.
Couldn't.
Jin-woo leaned back against the headboard, exhaustion carving lines into his face. That night 6 years ago. In Hongdae. Do you remember? Every second. I looked for you. His voice dropped.
After.
For 2 years, I searched. Hotels, hostels, immigration records. Nothing. Amara's breath caught. You left me in that hotel room. I didn't leave. I was taken. He touched his shoulder absently. There was a coup brewing in my organization. My own men turned on me that night. I was hunted for 72 hours. When I finally survived, when I finally had control again, I tried to find you. But you were gone. I waited for 3 days. I know. I thought, her voice cracked. I thought I was just another woman to you. Someone forgettable. You were the opposite. Jin-woo's eyes found hers, and for the first time, she saw past the ice. You were the first person in 10 years who looked at me like I was human. Not a weapon. Not a monster. Just a man. Have you ever protected someone who hurt you? Comment your experience, and where you're watching from. Seoul glittered through his bedroom window, city of neon and shadow. Beauty built on blood. Amara sat on the edge of his bed, close enough to feel his body heat. I stopped looking, he continued, because men like me destroy everything we touch. I thought disappearing from your life was mercy. And now I know I destroyed you anyway. His hand found hers again. By not being there. By letting you raise them alone. By making you so desperate that you'd walk into my world with children who deserve better. A tear slid down her cheek. They deserve their father. They deserve safety. From everyone except you? Jin-woo pulled her closer.
She didn't resist.
Their faces were inches apart, breathing shared air. I can't promise safety, he whispered, but I can promise I'll bleed for them. For you. Until there's nothing left. She kissed him. Or he kissed her. It didn't matter who moved first. Only that after 6 years of absence and 5 days of war, their mouths finally found each other again. His hand tangled in her hair. Her palm pressed against his chest, feeling his heart hammer beneath skin and scar tissue. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard.
We can't, she said.
I know. The twins are asleep next door. You're injured. I don't care. He kissed her again, slower this time.
Deeper.
Stay. She pulled back, standing. If I stay, I'll forget why I hated you. Good.
No.
Not good. She moved to the door. Because hate keeps me sharp. And I need to be sharp to survive here. Amara. Good night, Jin-woo. She left before he could respond. Before she could change her mind. Morning brought fragile domesticity. Amara found Jin-woo in the twins' room, arm in a sling, watching them sleep. Sunrise painted everything gold. You should be resting, she whispered. So should you. They stood together in the doorway, two broken people trying to protect something whole. Minasio told me about the orphanage, Amara said quietly. Where you grew up.
Did she?
She said you built yourself from violence. She's not wrong. Jin-woo's good hand rested on the doorframe. I was 7 when they brought me in. 15 when I left. The things I learned there, he stopped. Let's just say love wasn't on the curriculum. Then where did you learn to tie shoelaces with such patience? He almost smiled. YouTube. After the DNA test came back, I spent 3 hours watching videos on how to be a father. Felt ridiculous. Amara's chest tightened. You're doing fine. I got shot in front of them. You got shot protecting them. There's a difference. Is there? He echoed her own words back to her. Ji-hoon stirred, sat up, saw his father standing there. Does it hurt? He asked in Korean. A little, Jin-woo answered in the same language. But I'm okay. Mama cried last night. I heard her. Amara's face heated. I didn't. It's okay to cry. Jin-woo cut in, crouching despite the obvious pain it caused. Your mother is very brave. Brave people cry too. Ji-hoon crawled out of bed, stopping in front of his father. Will they come back? The bad men? Maybe. Will you protect us again? Always. Jin-woo's hand rested on his son's head. That's what fathers do. Ji-hoon hugged him, carefully, avoiding the injured shoulder. Jin-woo's eyes closed, and Amara saw something break and rebuild in his expression all at once. The following week blurred into routine. Amara taught the twins Korean in the mornings. Jin-woo joined when his shoulder allowed, translating words she stumbled over. They laughed at her pronunciation. She threw grapes at them. Min-seo taught Jia basic self-defense. Stomp on the foot, strike the throat, run. Jia practiced on a training dummy with terrifying enthusiasm. Taehyun showed Ji-hoon how to play baduk. Strategy is survival, he said, moving stones across the board. Always think 3 moves ahead. Amara watched it all from the margins, marveling at how quickly violence became normal when wrapped in care. One afternoon, she struggled with groceries, insisted on cooking Nigerian food despite the mansion's full kitchen staff. Arms full of yams and plantains, she tried to navigate the back stairs. "Let me help." Taehyun appeared, taking half her load with easy grace. His smile was the kind that disarmed, all warmth and charm. "You don't have to," she said. "I want to. Besides, I'm curious. What are you making?" "Jollof rice." "Moi moi. Dodo." She navigated the stairs. Probably going to fail miserably, but the twins asked, "I'm sure it'll be great." He followed her into the kitchen. "You're a good mother." "I'm a terrified mother." "Same thing." They worked together, his jokes easing her tension. He told her about growing up with Jin-woo, 2 orphans against the world, building an empire from nothing. "He's different with you," Taehyun said, peeling plantains with unexpected skill. "Softer." "Soft isn't the word I'd use." "Then you haven't seen him the way I have." Last week, he spent 2 hours picking out children's books. Agonized over whether Ji-hoon would prefer dinosaurs or space. Amara's hands stilled. He did. Bought both. Just in case. Taehyun grinned. "He's trying, Amara. In the only way he knows how." She smiled despite herself. "Thank you. For telling me." "Anytime." His hand steadied her elbow as she reached for a high shelf. The touch was brief. Innocent. From his office window 3 floors up, Jin-woo watched. His coffee cup cracked in his grip. Black liquid spilled across his desk, soaking reports he didn't care about. His jaw locked so tight his teeth ached. Taehyun was laughing at something Amara said. She was smiling, relaxed in a way she never was around Jin-woo. He picked up his phone. Typed. "Asterisk, need you in my office. Now. Asterisk." Set it down. Deleted the message. Picked up what remained of his coffee cup. The porcelain had split clean through. Blood welled from his palm where a shard had cut skin. He stared at it, watching red mix with black. "Sajangnam?" Min-seo stood in the doorway, concern flickering across her usually stoic face. "I'm fine. Your hand is bleeding." "I said I'm fine." He grabbed a tissue, wrapping it around his palm. "What do you need?" "Updates on the park situation. His men have been quiet. Too quiet. Let them be quiet. I want surveillance doubled. Triple if necessary." "Already done." She paused. "The children seem happy. They're adjusting. So are you." Jin-woo's glare could have melted steel. "Get out." She left. The door closed. He looked back out the window. Amara and Taehyun were gone. The kitchen was empty.
He sat down.
Stared at his bleeding hand. Wondered when jealousy became another scar he'd carry. That evening, dinner was jollof rice and laughter. The twins devoured Amara's cooking. Even Jin-woo ate seconds, though he'd never admit it tasted like memory and longing. "This is good, Mama," Jia announced, rice staining her cheeks. "It's not as good as home," Amara said. "But close enough." "What's home like?" Ji-hoon asked. She described Lagos, markets overflowing with color, music pouring from every corner, heat that soaked into your bones. The twins listened with wide eyes. Jin-woo listened too, imagining the life they'd lived without him, the richness he'd missed. After dinner, Jia presented him with a drawing. Crayon stick figures for people holding hands. Labels in careful handwriting. "Mama, Daddy, Ji-hoon, me." "It's our family," she said shyly. Jin-woo stared at it. At the way she'd drawn him taller than everyone else, protective. At the smiles on every face. It's perfect, he said quietly. Can I keep it? It's for you. He folded it carefully, placing it in his jacket pocket. Over his heart. Later, after the twins were asleep, he found Amara on the terrace. Seoul sprawled below, alive and indifferent.
Thank you, he said.
For what?
Dinner.
The drawing. Not hating me today. She laughed softly. I still hate you a little.
Good.
I'd worry if you didn't. He moved closer. But maybe less than yesterday? Maybe. She turned to face him. Why did you call Taehyun to your office this afternoon? He said you needed him urgently. But when he got there, you told him it was nothing. Jin-woo's expression didn't change. Change of plans. Liar. Guilty. What was it really? He stepped closer, closing the distance between them. I didn't like how he looked at you. How did he look at me? Like you were someone he could save. Jin-woo's voice dropped. You're not his to save. I'm not yours either. Aren't you? His hand cupped her face. You're here. In my home. Raising my children. Sleeping 20 feet from my bedroom. Tell me you're not mine. The words died. That's what I thought. He kissed her. She kissed him back. And for one perfect moment, the war stopped. They're gone. Taehyun's voice cracked through the phone speaker. Jin-woo's hand froze halfway to his coffee cup. Amara looked up from the book she'd been reading in his office. Korean fairy tales she planned to translate for the twins. What do you mean gone? Jin-woo's voice was ice over lava. Min Seo took them to the park. 15 minutes ago. For men, tactical gear, silenced weapons. She's alive, unconscious. They took Ji-hoon and Ji-ah. The coffee cup shattered against the wall. Amara was on her feet. What happened? Jin-woo ignored her, already moving. Casualties. 2 of ours. Dead. Taehyun's breathing was ragged. They left a phone. It's ringing. Answer it. Speaker. A pause. Then a voice Amara recognized from the threatening call weeks ago, gravelly, amused. Kang Jin-woo. I hope you're listening. Where are my children? Jin-woo's words could cut glass. Safe. For now. Park Dong-hyun laughed. You know what I want. Name it. Everything. Territory, accounts, supply lines. Your entire empire. Sign it over, and I'll return your heirs unharmed. And if I refuse? Then you'll receive them in pieces. The line went dead. Jin-woo stood motionless for 3 seconds. Then he exploded into motion, crossing to his safe, pulling out weapons with mechanical precision. 2 handguns. Tactical knife. Extra magazines. Where are you going? Amara demanded. To get our children. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. They're my children too. Her voice broke. I'm not sitting here while they're terrified and alone. Jin-woo loaded a magazine with sharp clicks. You'll slow me down. Then teach me not to. She grabbed his arm. You think I can't fight? I survived 5 years alone in a foreign country with 2 infants. I worked 3 jobs. Dodged deportation twice. Kept them fed, clothed, and safe without any help from you or anyone else. So don't tell me I'm not strong enough. He stared at her, then reached into the safe and pulled out a smaller pistol. Safety's here. Aim center mass. Don't hesitate. He pressed it into her hands. If someone threatens you or the twins, you kill them. Understand? Her fingers closed around the grip. Yes. The Mercedes tore through Seoul's streets, traffic laws becoming suggestions. Taehyun drove. Jin-woo sat in the passenger seat, phone pressed to his ear, barking orders in rapid Korean. Amara gripped the pistol in the back, trying to remember the self-defense Min Seo had shown Ji-ah. Stomp the foot. Strike the throat. Run. Park's using the old warehouse by the Han River, Taehyun said. Abandoned since the chemical fire. 6 exits, multiple levels. Perfect for an ambush. Then we don't walk in. Jin-woo checked his weapon. We burn it down. With our children inside? Amara's voice was sharp. I'm getting them out first. He turned to look at her. But Park and everyone loyal to him dies tonight. No exceptions. She nodded. The woman who'd arrived in Seoul 3 weeks ago would have protested. That woman was gone.
They parked 2 blocks away.
6 of Jin-woo's men materialized from shadows, armed, silent, lethal. Min-seo appeared last, walking with her limp more pronounced, fury carved into her features.
I failed them, she said.
You're alive, Jin-woo replied. That means you can fix it. Southwest entrance. Guarded. For men, rotating every 30 minutes. Taehyun, take them. Quiet. Jin-woo gestured to 2 others. North entrance. Wait for my signal. Min-seo, you're with us. What about me? Amara asked. He handed her a Kevlar vest. You stay behind me. Always. If shooting starts, you get to the twins and you run. Don't wait for me. Don't look back. Just run. Jin-woo. Promise me. She met his eyes. Saw the terror he'd never admit. I promise. Before they moved, he pulled Jia's drawing from his pocket, the crayon family, slightly crumpled. He stared at it for 1 heartbeat.
2.
Then he tucked it back over his heart and became something else. Something cold. Efficient. Built to kill. They moved through darkness, like smoke. The warehouse was a corpse of industry, rusted metal, shattered glass, chemical stains that would never wash clean. Amara's heart hammered against her ribs. The pistol felt alive in her hands. Jin-woo signaled. They split up. Amara followed him and Min-seo through a side entrance, stepping over debris. Voices echoed from above, Korean too fast for her to follow. Then a sound that stopped her heart. Jia crying. Jin-woo's hand shot out, stopping her from running toward it. He pointed up. 2nd floor. Guards visible through gaps in the flooring. They climbed rusted stairs that groaned with each step. Every sound felt like thunder. Amara's breathing was too loud, too fast. She forced it slower. At the top, Jin-woo peered around a corner. Held up 4 fingers. For guards between them and the children. He looked at Min-seo. Some silent communication passed between them. She nodded. What happened next was violence distilled to art. Min-seo moved first, fast despite her limp, knife flashing. The first guard went down without a sound. The second turned, opened his mouth to shout. Jin-woo's bullet found his throat. Silenced weapon, but the body hitting the floor echoed. The third guard raised his gun. Amara fired, without thinking. The recoil jolted her arms. The shot went wide, but close enough to make him duck. Jin-woo finished him. The 4th ran. Taehyun stepped out of the shadows and dropped him. Clear, he whispered. They found the twins in a locked room, hands bound with zip ties, mouths taped shut, eyes wide with terror. Jia was crying. Ji-hoon was silent, face pale. Amara was through the door before Jin-woo could stop her. She cut them free with the knife Min-seo handed her, ripping off the tape with shaking hands. Mama. Jia threw herself into her arms. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Ji-hoon grabbed Jin-woo, face pressed into his father's chest. I knew you'd come. Always. Jin-woo's voice was rough. Can you walk? Both children nodded.
Good.
We're leaving. Stay close to. Gunfire erupted below. Shouting. Footsteps thundering toward them. They know we're here, Taehyun said, weapon raised. We need to move.
Now.
Jin-woo picked up Ji-hoon with his good arm. Amara grabbed Jia. They ran. The warehouse became a maze of gunfire and shadow. Jin-woo's men provided cover, falling back in coordinated retreat. Amara clutched Jia, running through corridors that smelled like rust and death. A guard appeared ahead. Min-seo took him down. Another from the left. Taehyun fired twice. They reached a side exit, almost freedom. Then Park Dong-hyun stepped into view, flanked by 6 men, all armed. Leaving so soon? His smile was a wound. Without saying goodbye, Jin-woo set Ji-hoon down gently, stepping in front of his family. Let them go. This is between us. Is it? Park gestured to the twins. I don't think so. You see, I don't want your empire anymore, Jin-woo. I want you to suffer. I want you to know what it feels like to lose everything that matters. He raised his weapon, aimed at Jia. Time fractured. Amara saw the gun, saw his finger tighten, saw her daughter about to die. She moved without thought, pushing Jia toward Minnesio, diving forward. The gun swung toward her instead. Jin-woo was faster. He threw himself in front of Amara, taking the bullet meant for her. It hit his chest, spinning him sideways. He went down hard. No! Amara screamed. Chaos erupted. Jin-woo's men opened fire. Park's guards returned it. Taehyun grabbed both twins, pulling them toward the exit. Minnesio covered them, limping but lethal. Amara crawled to Jin-woo. Blood spread across his chest, dark, fast, too much. His eyes were open, staring at the ceiling. Don't you dare die. She pressed her hands to the wound. Don't you dare leave them now. The drawing, he gasped. Pocket. Shut up. Save your breath. If I don't make it. You're making it. Tears streamed down her face. Because I can't do this alone. They need you. Her voice broke. I need you. His hand found hers, slick with blood. Then, I guess I'm not dying today. Sirens wailed in the distance. Jin-woo's reinforcements poured in, 20 men, heavily armed. Park's forces broke, scattering into the night. Park himself disappeared into shadow, survival instinct overriding pride. Taehyun ran back, phone pressed to his ear. Ambulance incoming. 2 minutes. He doesn't have 2 minutes. Amara's hands were red, shaking. Yes, I do. Jin-woo's grip tightened on her hand. Not done yet. Still have to teach Jihoon how to ride a bike. You're delirious. Probably. His eyes found hers. But I meant it. What I said before. About bleeding for you. All of you. The ambulance arrived. Paramedics swarmed. They loaded Jin-woo onto a stretcher, Amara refusing to let go of his hand. The twins clung to Minnesio, watching their father being carried away. Is Daddy going to die? Jia whispered. No, Amara said, fierce despite her terror. He's too stubborn. The hospital waiting room was purgatory in fluorescent lighting. Amara sat with blood drying on her hands, twins asleep against her shoulders. Taehyun paced. Minnesio stared at the wall, jaw clenched. Other members of Jin-woo's organization filled the space, silent, lethal men made helpless by antiseptic and waiting. Hours crawled by. Finally, a surgeon emerged. Family of Kang Jin-woo? Amara stood carefully, settling the twins on chairs. How is he? Critical but stable. The bullet missed his heart by centimeters. He's incredibly lucky. The surgeon pulled off his mask. He's asking for you. And the children. They followed him through sterile hallways to ICU. Jin-woo lay in bed, pale as the sheets, monitors beeping steady rhythm. His eyes opened when they entered. Daddy. Jia tried to run to him. Amara caught her gently. Careful, baby. He's hurt. They approached slowly. Jihoon climbed onto the bed first, mindful of the 4 lines. Jia followed. Jin-woo's arms, one in a sling, the other bandaged, wrapped around them as much as he could manage. I'm okay, he murmured. I'm right here. You got shot again, Jihoon said accusingly. Bad habit. I'll work on it. Amara stood at the bedside, throat tight. Jin-woo's free hand reached for her. She took it. Thank you, she whispered. For what? Getting shot. For coming back. Her tears fell freely now. For them. For us. Where else would I go? His thumb brushed her knuckles. You're my family. Only one I've ever had. The twins fell asleep curled against their father. Amara stayed, hand in his, watching monitors prove he was alive. Breathing. Here. As dawn broke over Seoul, Jin-woo spoke quietly. I need to tell you something. What? When I was lying there, bleeding out, all I could think was, I finally understand. Understand what? Why you came back. His eyes held hers. Why you risked everything to tell me about them. Because love doesn't care about danger. Doesn't care about logic. It just demands you show up. Even when it's terrifying. Especially when it's terrifying, she corrected softly.
Yeah.
He smiled, weak but real. Especially then.